Learning to control the club face in the golf swing is one of the most crucial skills you could ever learn. But how can you determine whether the club face is too open or too closed throughout your swing? Well, today I'm going to share with you a drill that will help you to do just that, because the quality of your club face control is directly linked to your handicap. So the better you get at this skill, the better golfer you'll become. You may already be familiar with the saying that club face is king, and I tend to agree with the sentiments of that statement, because the way you control this club face throughout the swing doesn't just determine the overall outcome of the shot, too much to the left or too much to the right. It also determines how you deliver this club to the ball. A club that comes down too steep, where a golfer might start to stand up and early extend, and especially a golfer who sees this flipping position at impact. All of those issues can be attributed to poor club face control. So let me show you what too much and too little open and closed club face would look like, and then how to train that perfect club face control for your swing. So at the most basic level, understanding that a closed club face would be the club face turned or twisted to the left for a right-handed golfer. That would tend to hit the ball to the left. And equally, an open club face would be a club face that's turned the opposite way, pointing more to the right. So you may be able to start to see what your pattern is based on the outcome of your shots. Do you hit more shots to the right? Do you hit more shots to the left? That would start to give you an indication of whether your club face is too open or too closed. But the reason club face control is so difficult to master is club face control is really wrist control. And your wrists can move in an almost infinite number of ways, meaning the orientation of this club face can change at any point in time throughout the swing. What you really need is a reference for how to manage that at all points in time in the swing. I'm going to come to that just shortly. But for the meantime, let's just take a quick look at what I'm referring to when it comes to club face control. When I swing back and I take a look at my club face here at this P2 checkpoint, P2 is where the shaft is parallel to the ground, this club face could be twisted or turned in all manner of ways. The club face position I have right now would be considered quite neutral, where the toe of the golf club is just slightly on top of the heel. We've got this very slight turned down club face. The angle of the club face actually more or less matches my spine angle and how I'm bent forward towards the ground. As I say, that would be considered quite neutral. But I could, for whatever reason, have twisted and turned my wrist in such a way that this would present a very open club face. And if I was to keep that alignment and go back to the ball, the club face when I hit the golf ball here would be completely non-functional. And this is what I mean by the problems you see in your swing being attributed to poor club face control. Because this club face is out of position, in order to make any sort of decent pass at this ball and make contact and hit it somewhere towards the target, I'm going to need to start changing my wrist angles, moving my body in the wrong way, and swinging across the golf ball in some attempt to make this shot functional. So this would look open. This would be quite typical if you're a slicer of the ball or you struggle with hitting shots to the right. But equally, I see golfers who also twist the club too much in the opposite direction. This club face is now pointing down towards the ground very strongly, very aggressively, and if I was to bring that club face alignment to the ball, again, non-functional. This ball would go so far to the left, I'd probably never see it again. So once again, this club face, this poor club face control could be attributed to people standing up in the downswing, late shallowing the club, swinging too far to the right to try and fix this problem. Let me show you how to manage this club face once and for all, build up from small swings to full swings, and truly master the control of your club face. And in order to help you to see how to do this, I'm going to incorporate the help of the hanger training aid from Watson Golf. This is a training aid that's been around for a long time, one that I featured many years ago on the channel, way before I started doing regular YouTube videos. This is something that you can do with a regular clothes hanger, and I'll show you that a little bit later on. But for the purpose of this part of the video, I want you to see how simple this training aid is and how it can help to train the skill of club face control very quickly. This hanger concept with the club here and the plastic hanger sitting on the top of the grip allows you to take your regular grip and organize this bar here, this plastic bar that sits between my forearms, in a way that's going to literally change the way you move your wrists. Okay, it's going to completely control how you move your wrists, and as we said already, wrist control is club face control. So when I set up, I have the hanger sitting between my forearms, and as I dress the golf ball, I can do so very comfortably. I've got the grip, my normal grip, and the hanger's sitting between my arms. Now, as I swing back from P1 to P2, there's going to be a small twisting of this shaft so that the hanger now touches my left forearm. And this is now key because, as you see, with the limiter placed on the amount I can twist the grip here, the hanger's placing a limiter on how much I can twist the grip, I have the club face in that optimal position there at P2. Because the hanger's in the way, I'm not able to twist it further. Okay, I wouldn't be able to do that. And if I wasn't touching my left forearm with the hanger, then the face would be more open. We saw that picture earlier. In fact, I may even start to feel like it touches my right forearm. So the amount of twist in my wrists is monitored and controlled by the hanger. And the great thing about this is that as I continue up to the top, my job is just to keep the contact with the lead forearm and the hanger. That keeps the club and the wrists in the right position. And as I get down to impact, the goal again is to keep the sensation of the hanger touching my forearm. What's that going to produce? It's going to produce lower dynamic loft, more compression, this shaft lean that so many of you are searching for but find elusive. So my ability to make better contact is also increased with better wrist angles. I don't just hit the ball straighter, I hit the ball further. I also hit the ball more consistently because I can control the low point. And then moving into the follow through, keep my arms straight, the hanger's still touching, and I can start to then just rehinge my wrists into a perfect finish. So it's simple, it's really simple. It avoids too closed or too open in a very short period of time. You could also use it if you wanted to make your club face more open for any reason, maybe start to curve the ball more to the right on purpose. It's also got some great short game uses as well for those of you looking to improve your chipping. But for now, we'll just work on basic club face control. P2, club face pointing slightly down, hanger touching my forearm, swinging through to shaft parallel with the ground in the follow through, hanger still touching my forearm. This would be such a great place for many of you to start, particularly if you struggle with slicing. These balls are little draws. That was an 80-yard chip shot. I'd encourage you to start out small, this P2 to P8 swing, which means shaft parallel to the ground, more or less, shaft parallel to the ground, more or less. My arms are staying straight. That's the radius management we've talked about so often. And the wrist angles are under control. I'm able to deliver a slightly closed face, which is going to produce a nice, tight little draw shot that goes down the fairway. Once you've mastered P2 to P8, this tiny little chipping swing, we can progress to the next level. Next level would be P3, left arm parallel to the ground. I can feel that the hanger's still in contact with my lead forearm. To P9 on the follow through. I can feel like the hanger's still touching. That would be that L shape backswing to L shape follow through. That's going to control the rate at which this club face is twisting or closing, and I'm really not able to excessively shut or close the face, which many of you would struggle with if you had no help here at all. That's the great thing here. If you didn't have anything to help you, how would you know what you were doing right or wrong? The idea of trying to learn this without any feedback is crazy. It would take you years and years, and you may never ever get there. But having something as simple as this touching your arm throughout this swing and as you do these drills tidies up and regulates the amount of wrist hinge very, very quickly. So the next progression, once you've done the smallest swing, would be to transition to this mid swing, left arm parallel to the ground, left arm parallel to the ground. Felt pretty good, tiny little draw again. I promise you, if you slice the golf ball and you've struggled to ever draw the golf ball with any degree of consistency, this will change your game forever. If you can keep the hanger in contact with your lead forearm, you are effectively keeping the face of the golf club closed to the shaft, which is what helps you to hit those nice little draws. So that's now gone out there to like 110, 115 yards. That's my mid-distance swing. And I'd stay there and practice until I could get that contact and that consistency of ball flight to where I'd want it, to where I'm comfortable with it and I feel like it's predictable and consistent enough. Once I've done that, I can then progress onto full swings. And that's one of the absolute best pieces about this training aid. You can hit full swings with your irons, and this even works for the driver as well. So you can go 100% speed while still keeping your wrists intact. That's one of the keys to a good training aid, to be able to hit shots at full distance, full speed, and still be able to get the feedback. And there's the final one, full distance, tiny little push, pretty much perfect. I've got my 8 iron here, but as I say, you could do this with any club that you wanted to. The way that I like to work this up though, from slow to full, would be for you to be able to make these swings and be very conscious of keep twisting and pushing the hanger in towards the forearm. It's very easy to lose the touch points at certain points in the swing, particularly in transition as you start to pull this club down. I'm very keen to help people to feel that this is touching not just throughout the swing, but also being increased in pressure as you start down. And that would also apply as you come to impact. So lots of slow swings with this exercise, lots of slow drills first of all, to help you get a sensation for how the wrists need to twist. Let's face it, if you're struggling with club face control, if you're struggling with your golf in general, you're going to need to recognize that whatever it is you try is going to feel very different to what you're currently doing. The idea that it could stay the same in terms of a feel and get tons better is really not logical at all. It doesn't make any sense. You've got to go to a point where you're a little bit uncomfortable. Using something like this allows you to feel the different ranges of open and closed, so then you can actually find that happy medium. Club face control is a skill well worth developing, and I think the hanger drill helps to expedite the learning of that skill and improve your golf far more quickly. But if you don't have the hanger, you can still explore club face control by yourself. You could either grab a regular clothes hanger from your wardrobe, try to make that work. It can be a little bit fiddly to fit it onto the grip, but it also works. It does the same job. I showed that in a video from many years ago. Also, I would really encourage you to just take a club and experiment with both ends of the spectrum of the twisting of the club. As I say, club face control is wrist control. If I was to twist my wrists to the maximum and close this club face, I'd want to hit a ball and experiment with what that feels like. Close the face as much as I can, hit the ball, ball's going to go to the left, that's my experience, ball's going to hook. Now you might try that and see the same outcome. You might try that and hit the ball straighter than you've ever hit it before. That would be a sign that that may be the way you need to take your swing. It's where you need to explore to get your understanding of club face control to a new level. Equally, you could do that the opposite way, okay? If you need to opening of the club face to the extreme. Go to the top, twist it open, hold it open. What would that feel like? Swing down. That ball's going to go high and to the right. Now, neither of those shots are particularly functional for me, but I can't really learn where that happy medium is with the club face until I've explored the two ends of the spectrum. And also, in exploring those ends of the spectrum, you never know what that might deliver in terms of new learning for you. Even if you don't go ahead and use that feeling for your regular swing, it might teach you how to start curving the balls to the right or the left if you needed to do that on the course, maybe to maneuver your way around a tree or an obstacle. So exploring club face control is really a great place to begin. But if you do want to control the club face as best you can, using some form of training aid would be very beneficial. It may seem to you that the subject of club face control and wrist angles can be a bit complex, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. But when it comes to finding a solution to that problem, I'm always looking for ways to help you do this more quickly. And the hanger training aid really does tick that box. It takes something that's quite complex and difficult to train and breaks it down to a very simple feel. If you're interested in learning more about the hanger, I'm going to put a link in the description of this video where you can click there and go to the website. Our friends at Watson Golf have also given us a 15% discount code if you'd like to purchase one of these. You need to use the code GRIDLIFE at checkout to save money on your purchase. If you enjoyed the video today, guys, I'd love you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'd also love you to get down into the comments if you have a hanger training aid or if you have any questions about how else you can utilize this product. I'm going to be doing future videos on the hanger. If there's any requests for the subject you'd like me to cover, then do get down in the comments and let me know. And if you're ready to continue your education on how the wrists work in the golf swing, I'd encourage you to click on this video next. This one discusses a great drill that you can do to preset your wrist conditions to train optimal wrist conditions throughout the backswing and the downswing.